Now, I've been in sales jobs ever since I got out the Army in 2013. My first sales job was Best Buy, second one was Microsoft, and third one was Staples. And now I sell my own services as a mobile tech. Boom, in-home. I believe I've gained an extraordinary perspective on how to approach and interact with customers on the sales floor to ensure they are comfortable, they don't feel pressured, and they have fun. Let's start with my approach. My approach is on the sales floor. It's not set up in a meeting or an office or another location like a restaurant. So with that scene set, we have an entry location to our brick and mortar location. The company advertisement will be the first thing your customer sees outside, but once they get inside, that is when the show starts, and that is when it's your job to make sure they have a good experience. All right, so as soon as the customer walks in the door, I greet him with an upbeat attitude and energy and ask him if there's anything we can help him find. This immediately shows we are willing to work with them right away. Most retail locations, the employees don't engage. They're hiding from customers to merchandise, or they're just hanging around with other employees and they let the customers come to them. With this approach, the tone for the rest of the interaction is set and expectations are already exceeded at this point for most customers. If you talk to them first. If you're sitting around, the tone's set and it's a bad tone. Once this approach has been taken, you must have the knowledge and store awareness to be able to help customers almost instantly with any question that they have about the products or services your company provides. If you can answer quickly and efficiently, your customers will gain even more confidence in your abilities to help them, and they will come to trust you a little bit more. This is called establishing rapport. This is kind of what happens as a result of that. And rapport is something that kind of naturally occurs if you can be the primary resource for a customer solution. They're going to be grateful. They're going to have. They're just going to be grateful to have such a helpful and knowledgeable employee to go to for their questions. Now, I work with a lot of older folks. I sell tech equipment and services. I can't stress enough how important it is to break complex product details down to terms most people can understand, but you got to do this without being condescending at the same time. All right, you got to be able to learn how to be very aware of what you say, how you say it, as well as be able to read the customer's nonverbal communications to determine their nature to better deliver this information. Now, this special kind of knowledge comes with time, and you got to analyze people. Psychology and human nature, great things to study, but people have many tells that can help guide the tone in which we deliver certain bits of information, and it's very minimal. So I'll give you, and they can be massive too, don't get me wrong. We got minimal and massive nonverbal communications. I'll give you a quick example. So 70-year-old customer comes into Staples. He is not tech savvy. He wants to know the differences between Intel processors. My go-to is one of two things. To describe the difference between the i3, the i5, the i7 processors, I use 60, 80, and 100 miles per hour. If I can sense or have asked if they understand car engines, I simply say the i3 is your V6, i5 is your V8, i7 is your V10. Einstein calls this combinatory play. Taking two separate ideas and then combine them to create an entirely new idea that leads to understanding of something completely unrelated. It's a beautiful thing if you can use it. These strategies put complex details into terms the customer can grasp instantaneously, which then helps the sale move right along. Ignoring the blockade of not knowing which will increase your vote of confidence with the customer, which will increase rapport, which can then lead to the next question or maybe even the sale. The sale. It's usually never one question though, but hold steady, remain available, or you can even ask questions. Qualifying questions that can help you narrow down further which device you will recommend. A great one is, how do you plan to use this product or service? With your extensive knowledge on your products and services, you will be easily able to determine which product or service is right for that specific customer. Now, this is important. Do not oversell people for market basket. I was taught how to shark customers at Best Buy, which only led to distrust, buyer's remorse, and eventually returns. Not every time, but sometimes, and it's not a good feeling. At Microsoft, I was taught how to educate the customer in order to ensure they understood why I made a certain recommendation so that they can truly understand or see that I'm suggesting the best for them. Not for company numbers, but for them individually. This leads to great customer rapport, good feels, repeat business, which then helps the company's numbers. After sales service. All right. This is something the customer expects. Most companies limit this to 14 days unless extended warranties are bought. These can be tricky, but if you listen closely, you may find a golden egg here. I'm going to use my chair warranty and assembly pitch as an example. Let's start with the approach and move from there. All right, I'm going to play me and I'm going to play an old guy here, all right? Welcome to Staples. How can we help you today? Yes, I'm looking for your office chairs. Great. They're right this way. What kind of features are you looking for? Oh, son of boy. I've got a bad back and need some lumbar support. I prefer the cushion chairs. Great. We have plenty of options back here. This one is the most popular for lumbar support, but there are 3 more over there as well. Now, at this point, this is where you need to get a sense of the nature of your customer. You got to determine if they want to look alone or with you. Okay? If they want to go through this process with you, it can be more fun, but most people just want to sit in a bunch of chairs and come get you when they need you. So with that being said, when I get a sense that the customer wants to look by themselves, I will say, I'll let you test these out. When you find your dimension of comfort, let me know. Otherwise, I'll swing back in 5 to 10 minutes to check in. All right? Now, before I say this line, this is where sometimes I'll sneak the pitch right here. I'll tell them we have a deal on assembly and the protection at the moment where it's 25% off. It only costs $30 for assembly and 3 years accidental together. But after that pitch, I go right into saying, I'll let you try some of these out, and then I walk away immediately, all right? You cannot leave silence here or be waiting for a response because that puts pressure on the customer. The next step is simply going back and checking on them, asking if you can check stock, asking if they want assembly again, and then they might say yes, no, whatever. And then get the chair to the register and then determine if they're down for the total support. You pitch it again at the register, okay? So I've pitched it 3 times now. All right, but I didn't put any pressure on them. I left them alone. The real pressure is going to be at the register, all right? So let's see here. This process goes really smooth if you have the resources to pitch a very attractive service finish date. Yep, right there. So I usually say I can assemble this chair in less than 10 minutes. I have my drill on me. So, dude, I'll assemble it for you in 10 minutes or less. I got my drill. Saves you the pain of twisting. You know, there's a lot of rotations on those things. This usually pushes them over the edge, but the last tactic I can use here is price match. Easy. A price match online. Decrease the price of the chair. That sells the plan. Boom. Numbers are good for the company. Customer's happy. Everybody's happy. All right. Most employees don't actively seek to lower the customer cost. All right. So they will appreciate the hell out of it. Last but not least, conduct the service, load the chair into their vehicle, do full service for them, all right? Now, I'm aware some of these tactics, although pro in my current environment, I feel, may be amateurish in other business environments. So I hope you learned something applicable to your life. Thank you.